everybody. I'm Jay Capasso. I'm the row crop agent here with UF IFAS Columbia County, and I'm joined today by Paulette Tomlinson and Haley Corbett, our Livestock and Natural Resource Extension agent, and our Family and Consumer Sciences agent. And we're going to talk to you about end-of-the-year financial decisions on farm and agricultural prepay. Now, there are some reasons why you may want to prepay for agricultural inputs on farm. One reason is to lock in lower prices and make sure that you have availability of that input. Some agricultural inputs get sold out, and for example, Valencia peanut seed. I get calls every year trying to track down Valencia peanut seed, and it's a very hard variety to find seed for. So starting early is a really good way to find that agricultural input. And in recent years, we've had issues with the prices of agricultural inputs rising, but also just finding the availability of the agricultural input has been challenging as well with some of the supply chain issues that we've been seeing worldwide. But I'm going to hand it over to Paulette Tomlinson, who is going to discuss this from a livestock perspective, why farmers may want to prepay for agricultural inputs.
Well, thank you, Jay. And I guess one of the things that I would say is that if we'd had a crystal ball to look into the future, we would have known that we needed to buy hay last year to feed this year, because hay prices last year were about $40, $45 a roll, and they have almost doubled this year, making a significant dent in your ability to save on the farm. So one of the things that you can do, though, to help mitigate some of those costs is to actually talk to your local retailers about maybe there's some supplemental feed. Maybe your hay quality isn't so good. We did have a very dry summer. It's been not so good in terms of quality. The testing that I've done, I've not seen really high quality hay. And so that means you've got to supplement. So to supplement, though, that means you got to buy molasses blocks, or some sort of a protein supplement along with energy. And to do that, you talk to your local feed store, find out what they have. Maybe if you buy in bulk, buy, a couple of tons, because you know you're going to feed that out in the coming months. You can get a cost savings on that. Maybe it's a 5% discount. That's better than not having a discount at all. You go ahead and put that in your stores, and you know that you're going to take possession of that after the first of the year. And then it might provide you a little bit of a discount perhaps on your taxes, but that's left to somebody else to decide.
That's a really good point, and a lot of this comes down to speculation as well. We hope when we prepay for agricultural goods that we're locking in a lower price, but that doesn't always happen. There's always prices rise and they fall. And if you do end up buying fertilizer or an agricultural input in December and the prices decrease on fertilizer before you use it in the spring, then one useful thing to talk to your agricultural retailer about is price protection. So you can protect yourself in case those prices decrease. And now I'm going to hand it over to Haley Corbett, who's going to discuss some of the tax aspect of this. And you should always discuss with your certified public accountant, how to do your taxes and, whether you need an expense that year or not to determine the best strategy. But we have our resident tax expert, Haley Corbett, here.
All right, thank you, Jay. So the first thing that I want to talk about related to taxes, and this is for any form of taxes, is make sure that you keep accurate, timely, and complete records. So what do I mean by that? Well, when we're talking about the agriculture business, this could be talking about an inventory list. You want to make sure that you list all the expenses that you have on that. You want to know when you bought it, the price that you bought it, and any details that you can give about it. You're probably thinking, why would you want to be so specific? But when it comes to your tax preparer actually doing your returns, this type of information helps them to get you the best for your return, whether that's savings or reducing the amount that you may have to pay in. Another piece of this that they talking about the inputs of the prepay or anything like that, with taxes, we actually typically call that a deduction piece. So that prepayment is going to go into deductions, which is going to allow you your tax liability to be less, which we always love. So with that, you want to make sure that you are keeping accurate records so that when they look at it, they can see how much you can actually use. The common thing would be about 50% of your cost expected to be used in that year is what you can claim as the deduction in this year's taxes. However, there are some exemptions and some other things that go about that. So that's again where that accurate keeping of your records is most important for your tax return. And hopefully you'll get the best return you can as long as you're sure keeping those accurate and using the right tax preparer.
Those are really good points, and I think keeping records is a really important aspect, not only for your taxes, but when it comes to keeping track of your inventory. If you buy a little bit of pesticide that you don't end up using, that stays in the barn for a very long time, then that's wasted money if it's not being used out on field. So we want to be as efficient as possible with our agricultural inputs so that we can make a profit at the end of the season. So that's something to think about as well. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and you can read more about end of the year financial decisions in our blog post online. Thank you so much.